Yo, what's going on? How are we, guys? Give me 1 minute. I'll chuck the link into the Facebook pages, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Hope you guys are well. There's obviously a bit to talk about in terms of Supercoach. It was a bit of a carnage week, wasn't it? So not ideal for us, but we can discuss all of that over the next hour and a half. Got the quiz as well, so that'll be a bit of fun. The last one in here. Yeah, hoping most of you guys can hang around for the quiz. That was a bit of fun last week. Bit controversial, but nonetheless, a bit of fun. And we are ready to go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Thanks for dropping in, guys. Oh boy, what a way to start. Amusement Productions. Always a dangerous way to start proceedings with this fella. How's Daniel travelling on this fine Tuesday evening? I'm well, mate. I'm well. How are you? Hope you're going well, my friend. Chappie, what's going on? What's cooking, he says. Yeah, good, mate. I'm going all right. Sean's in the house. Shortbread, my man, he gives me. What's going on, mate? Hey, Ryan, how are you, mate? He says Sicily versus Short. I'm definitely in the Short camp there. I think he's just been much more consistent than Sicily. Sicily's probably more of your can throw in a 70 and that type of thing, but obviously when he has his days intercepting like a madman, he can go big, but I feel a bit more comfortable with Short. Chappie, not good news today. What's wrong, mate? What's wrong? I guess you're referring to Grundy, I suppose. That will be a big talking point. James, how are you, mate? Yes, I'm going all right. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you're well. Daniel, how are we tonight, Shorty? I'm good, mate. How are you traveling out there? I'm ready to go back-to-back wins in the quiz. Yes, good man. He's back in town. That's what we like to see. Redeem and defend the title. Gus, what should I do to get Hayes, Cherry, and Grundy? I was thinking Gorn, Hayes, and Parker, but don't have enough money. Instead of Parker, do you think Rosie is a good option? No, I don't. I wouldn't endorse Connor Rosie. I think he's very hot and cold. He's running hot at the moment, but I'm still not. I wouldn't be confident enough to bank on him. So, what should I do to get out? Yeah, look, I like the fact you're bringing in Gorn and Hayes, but I don't know. Do you trust Mitch Duncan? I still got a bit of faith that he'll bounce back. He's just not quite got the ceiling at the moment, but I think Parker's probably cheaper. So that's a tough one, mate, but I wouldn't go Rosie. Hey, Corey, how are you, mate? Thanks for dropping in. Josh, hey, Shorty, Grundy to Bruce, and Jack Hayes to Tom Green. Yeah, hard to argue with that, mate. I mean, it would have been great for you to get Bruce last week, but it is what it is. Hopefully you can get Sam Hayes in. I do think Sam Hayes is just going to be a fantastic cash cow for us, so let's try and bring him in. And Gus says, is Tuke Miller a worry? I don't think so. I'm not too worried. I think I'm still planning on getting him within the next month. He's not quite at his absolute best, but, I still think he's a 110 plus guy. Is he still that 120 guy? I'm not too sure. I haven't watched him super close. For a couple of weeks, the tackles were an issue. I'm not exactly sure what happened last week, but I know he had like 8 tackles, I think. Gus goes on to say, kind of worried with my forward half rookies. I have McDonald, Roses, and Dixon. Anything need to do? Concerned about Jake Lloyd. Lloyd, I would be a little bit concerned about. He just doesn't seem to be finding the quantity of touches and a bit of a sharing of the load down back. McInerney runs around and Blakey runs around, and even Braden Campbell to a lesser extent. So I'd be a smidgen concerned on Lloyd, but I wouldn't say trade him out because you probably bought him expecting him to be your D1 or D2. He might end up being your D5 or something, but he's still a top 6 to 8 defender, I think. He's still super consistent. You just can't find that ceiling, can he? So that's a bit of a concern. In terms of your forward half rookies, look, let's hope Roses comes back. I'm not sure how far Dixon away is, but that's probably a question for when the teams drop. James says, thoughts on Jason Horne-Francis to Oliver and Jack Hayes to Sam Hayes. Yeah, I love it, mate. I think you got to get Hayes in. And a lot of us would have thought Oliver might drop a bit more than he did, but, that's what premiums can do. And Horne-Francis has definitely done his thing. He's got a pretty high break even now. Louis, how are you, mate? Thoughts on getting Tom Green in? Yeah, don't mind it at all. I think he's sort of arrived as one of the guns of the competition. Probably 2-3 weeks ago, I was sitting here saying, look, I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of it, and we've seen more of it. So I think he's a really good option. Whether he's going to end the season as a top 8 or top 10 mid, it's hard to say. I think he'll be in the conversation, but at this rate, he's going great guns, and it's hard to argue at that pretty affordable price compared to some. James, he says, Shorty, sorry I couldn't make it down on Monday. That's all right, mate. Glad to see you doing well, although I do miss the comedy of your 2021 Supercoach team. Yeah, that's all right, mate. That's all right. We made it work, me and Langers. In the end, I've got a goal-kicking video coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It has a pretty crazy ending. Some snags were slotted by the boys. And yes, you may miss my 2021 side. I definitely do not. It caused me so much pain. And Shorty's sleeping a little easier this time around. Gus continues and says, any must-have rookies. Well, it's just Sam Hayes. It's all about Sammy Hayes. I think a lot of us will be scrambling just to deal with, the aftermath of what was a brutal week. And Supercoach dealt us some pretty heavy blows. But Sam Hayes is the one. I think you got to find a way to get him into the team. Ronan says, need to beef up the back line, so who should I pick? Short, Pendlebury, or Houston? I don't know why I can't trust Houston. Maybe it's been his hot and cold form over the last couple of years, but this year he's looking great, really consistent. Having said that, of the 3 names you've got there, I'd still go Jaden Short really, really confidently. I think he's a top 3 defender, to be honest. I know he had that one poor game against the Crows, it might have been. Other than that, he's been flawless, absolutely faultless. So Pendlebury should be a guy that we look to get into our teams as well. But, it's he's been super consistent. B, hey, Shorty, big fan. Oh, thanks very much. I appreciate it. You know what they say, lucky in Supercoach, unlucky in love. Oh, they do say that, don't they? They do. I appreciate the support. Corey, I'm so annoyed that Grundy, Dacos, and Hayes to Keys, Treloar, and Sam Hayes was 3K off. That hurts. Doing the trade, any good mids under 588K? Well, do you have Petrarca? Because he's definitely, one to have a real good look at. I think a lot of people would mention Tom Green. I mean, 588, could you wriggle anything with Treloar? I'm not sure Treloar's price point, but could you go Parker instead of Treloar? I'm guessing Treloar's more expensive than Parker. Yeah, marginally. I just wonder, could you do that? Could you go Luke Parker instead of Treloar? And then that would definitely allow you to do that trade, or that would probably give you an extra 15K to play with, and you might be able to get someone like Brayshaw. That could be a bit of food for thought. Sean, what's going on, mate? Shorty bread. Shortbread, love your work, King. I've traded Grundy to Hayes, Whitfield to Oliver, and Hayes to Cripps. Is this good, or do I hold off on Cripps and prioritize trading out either Rochelle or Hinge this week? Thanks for the love, mate. Appreciate the support. Look, Yeah, Rochelli's an awkward one because he's really maxed out. Like he's put in two pretty average scores, and he's going to drop in price. I wouldn't be worried about Hinge at all. Um, what's Cripps' break even? That's the big question. Because part of me sort of says, look, you don't want to turn down a chance to get Paddy Cripps, but Rochelli. I don't know. It always stings a bit when our cash cows peak, and then you got to watch them go down a bit. Look, I'd trade out Rochelli. Cripps still has a break even of 125. I know he'll probably get that, but I don't think he's moving drastically on the price. His drastic move will be once he drops that 38. So I would look to get rid of Rochelli, mate. I think that's your best. Look, it might cost you some points in the short term, depending who you bring in, but I think financially and in terms of a trade being as efficient as possible, I think that's probably the best one. Georgios, hey Shorty, thoughts on Grundy to Hayes and Rochelli to Keys? Nothing wrong with that, mate. I think Grundy to Hayes will be one of the most popular trades going around. I'll be doing that. And yeah, Rochelli's leaving my team as well. And Keys has just announced himself, hasn't he? He's been great. Tyler, what's going on, big man? How are you, mates? Going all right. Thank you very much. You're really going to trade out Wits? Surely not, as your top three ruck for sure. Gorn, Wits, and Radder. Well, I didn't know what to do at the start of the week, mate. Grundy going down ironically made it a bit easier for me to make a decision. I didn't really want him to go out because like I said, I was leaning towards trading out Wits. But yeah, look, I think Gorn. I still think Sean Darcy's heavily in the conversation once he gets up and running. We shouldn't forget about him. But no, to be Grundy down to Hayes for me. James, me and my mates are going to be up and about in the quiz. That's what I like to hear, James. That's what I like to hear. Be around your quarter to 10 mark. I was working away on it last night, so I got 10 questions at the ready. Craig's in the house. How are you, mate? Well done on your score, mate. Thank you. Thoughts on Laddams and young fella from Geelong, Oliver Dempsey. Yeah, thanks. The score was very handy. Burst into the top 10,000. That's what we wanted. And couldn't believe one of the leagues, the AFL Supercoach 360, who I post with, we're ranked number one. I'll have to do a separate video on that. I've never been a part of a league that's gone that well. I was dumbfounded. You can see my reaction in my press conference. I couldn't believe it. In terms of your question, I'd wait and see on Oliver Dempsey. He was impressive, but you'd definitely at least wait one more game. Really tough to say if he can lock himself into a strong Cats team. Gary Rowan, I'm not sure how far away he is, something to consider. And Peter Adams, I don't know. Look, probably not, to be honest, unless you're in the business for looking for some real quick cash, because Hickey's about a month away. And at Ladham's price, I presume you're looking for a keeper. That's although he is forward eligible as well, isn't he? 460. Look, put it this way, I wouldn't have him sitting there and being like, look, he's going to sit in my rucks all day long, but he is going up in price. There's no doubt about that. As a sole ruck, he's a star and delivering on exactly why he went to the Swans. So it's food for thought. It's not one I'm jumping at, though. Jono, hey, mate. Thanks for jumping on board, my friend. Hope you're well. Langers, hi, Daniel. Bit of carnage for me to deal with this week. Jack Hayes, Dixon, Grundy, Lyman, McCartan might struggle to field 22 this week, struggling more than you trying to find a bed sheet. He's a funny man, this Langers, and a handy kick of the Sharon. If you want to see a bit of that, well, just wait for tomorrow night. Shorty versus Langers in the goal kicking contest, 6:30. That bad boy is dropping into your feed. I know you're paying Langers. I know it's a bloody tough one. I think there'll be quite a few people that have similar concerns, mate. But hopefully you're traveling not too bad. I know we were talking a few trades off air, so get Sammy Hayes in there, mate. Get Sammy Hayes in. Leave space for Tim Taranto in a couple of weeks. Luke Parker, I reckon he's ready to go bang. Evan, Shorty, mate, I would have come to the kick. I'm gutted no one turned up, but I ended up going to the Anzac Day game, so I had to head up early. I'll be there next time. That's all right, mate. No dramas. And we'll do it again. I was obviously I would have loved, to get a couple of people along on Monday, but definitely understand that people have lives and they do different things throughout the week, so that is fine. We still had a good kick, and I'll definitely be doing another kick down the track, and hopefully a couple of you guys can come along, which would be awesome. Here is the reigning quiz master. Daniel says Connor Rosie is a big old bear trap. Go nowhere near him. I think that might have been in response to an earlier question, and I totally agree. I wouldn't be touching him. Amusement Productions, no. He tries it regularly. He does, but you got to be better than that, mate. If you're going to try and pull the wool over my eyes, you got to be better than that. Tyler also loves Dempsey. Didn't he look good? He was a goer. He's bloody a stick figure, isn't he? He's a skinny young lad, but looks like a smart footballer. So I like that. I don't really know what it means for Supercoach just yet. It was a promising start, but in terms of being a Cats fan, really like that. Morgan, how you going? Thanks for dropping in, mate. Jack Hayes to Sam Hayes and trade Rochelle to any position. I have 580k. Who do I get? With 580k, I would. Let me just check one thing. I'd strongly consider Tom Stewart. If you don't have him already, I think we need to beef our backlines up because there's a few injuries down there, and the rookies have been tricky to score. They're clearly our weakest scorers. If that doesn't float your boat, then Petrarca in the midfield, I think, is a really nice price. And then if we move forward, I do think Luke Park is a good option. That would leave you with a lot of K left over to upgrade, a lot of cash to upgrade in another week. But I just think Tim Taranto is still dropping. Tim English isn't there. So I don't think there's anyone absolutely must get in that forward line that I'm thinking of around that price point, I should say. But there are a few names to hopefully help you. Langers is back. Can you roast the subs for not turning up to the kick? At least I had you there, mate. At least I had you there. But no, Shorty wasn't salty. I'm not going to roast him. Like I said before, happy to give it a crack. Didn't work out this week, but we'll be back. We'll be back. Caleb says Grundy, Horn, Francis, Hayes out for Steele, Hayes, and Oliver. Thoughts? Yeah, it's can't argue with that. Bringing in all the juicy double upgrade. Oh, love that. Love that. Good stuff. Joe, what's going on, mate? Shorty, quick one here. Max Gorn or Scott Lysett? I'm really struggling to find a solid R1. Come on, Joe. Come on, mate. Let's take it serious. Big Joe just cracking a couple of gags in here. James is up. What time is the quiz? He's real pumped for the quiz, James, and that's what I like to see. I would say around 9:40, something like that. Probably release the code around then. We'll talk a bit more shit and 9:45, 10 to 10 around that time. See how long these questions take. Amusement Productions, is Jack Ginnivan a flog? And why is the answer yes? Yeah. Look, he does have a face that just pisses you off. I don't even know why. Is it the haircut? Is it the smirk? Is it the little shush to the crowd? Probably all of the above. But I tell you what, who's laughing? He's the one who's laughing away. Get the GoPro on him, mate, because he was fantastic the other day. Justin, big thanks to my mate telling me to grab Laddams last week when Roses was laid out. Oh, good call. Well played. That's a good get. I wouldn't have thought. You must have had a bit of cash left over, mate. That's not too bad. Well played. TG, hey, Shorty, congrats on the great weekend. Thanks, mate. No, I appreciate it. It was one of the better weeks I've had in some time. That's what we like to see. Cheers for the comment. The Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky man. He's got a bit to say here, and that's what we like. Shorty, I know that if you didn't get Brody in, it's a bit of a miss on the cheap rookie of the year or side of the view. Or rookie side of view. I don't know where I plucked year from there. Jesus. But is he the sort of a must-have? See him more as a cheap primo now instead of a missed cash cow. I don't see many people trading him out at the moment. Look, I don't think he's a cheap premium. I think you just got to bite the bullet and say, look, I missed him. Fife's probably returning in the buy. So, yeah, Brody probably going to give you 4 to 5 really good weeks. I think when Fife returns and it's a full Fremantle midfield, I mean, he might stay in there all year, but I've got a little bit more confidence in some other guys. I think he's just more of a consistent 85 to 90 averager once it's all said and done. I wouldn't be surprised if the year finishes and he averages 89. I think he's running hot at the moment. I'd be surprised if he was a keeper because we run through the names. You've got quite a few that just reel off the tongue up forward. So yeah, I wouldn't rush out to get him. I'd probably prefer to go. What's Brody priced at? 450 now. I'd much prefer to go a little bit more north to a proven guy like Luke Parker, Mitch Duncan. But yes, horses for courses though. Daniel, concerned with Ridley. Yeah, played well and only scored 83. Is he one to go or keep and hope he's good enough for D6? Yeah, he is. He's not like a pressing issue, is he, mate? But he is concerning. I'm at the moment, because I've got him too, I'm just thinking, okay, I'll wait and see. Happy to ride through it. He's not quite traveling as well as we'd like. I feel like Laverty going off didn't do him any favors because I feel like he had one touch in the last quarter, and that was when Laverty was subbed off. So I'm not sure if that had much of an impact. He had to play a bit tighter on my check, or anyway. I would say if you got the luxury to trade him out, like you got nothing else really pressing, then yeah, you probably can do it. But he may well prove to be a handy D6. But at the moment, he's just not quite hitting that ceiling, is he? Surly Music. G'day, Shorty. Need a midfield rookie. Is Greg Clark worth a look? Or spend a bit more and look at Finn Callahan. Hey, mate, thanks for jumping on board. I don't know about Finn. I think he's too expensive for me. And I know the Giants, he's a high pick and the Giants don't have many out, but there's just something that says to me too risky. I just sense like his job security is iffy at best. So I don't think it's worth paying the extra cash. And Greg Clark may well come in soon. I was chatting to Langers and he said he could be in the mix. So watch this space. I think it could definitely be someone that we look at. But otherwise, what did Ben Hobbs score? Because there's not too many rookies aside from big fella Sam Hayes to really consider. So Ben Hobbs is at 153k, 34. That's no good. Yeah, that's no good. Not too sure, mate. Derek's on board. What's going on? Sitting at 3,500, but have over traded. Going to get Parker and Zorko this week, then no trades for a few weeks. Cheers, Derek. Nice, mate. No, good stuff. Like I always say, nothing wrong with trading if they've all been good. So you're obviously going well. I can only imagine that you've traded quite nicely, mate. So well done. Sitting pretty. Mix in the house. Good to see you. Should I trade Grundy? Absolutely. And his options. This is a combo. Grundy, Sam Hayes, and Jason Horn-Francis for Petrarca, Hayes, and who else? Oh, that's obviously, yep. I'm with you. If it's a mid spot, probably depends how much cash you got. But in terms of midfielders, like if you can afford Brayshaw, I think he's a gun and still under about 600k, I think. You mentioned Petrarca. Tuke Miller, definitely in the mix. Tom Green's a popular one. So there are a couple of names. Obviously, Clayton Oliver didn't drop as much as maybe we thought, but probably depends how much cash you got, mate. But hopefully a couple of those names help you. Mason's up. How are you, mate? Hey, Shorty, love your work. Thoughts on Finn Callaghan? Bit scared of his price and Leon. Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Appreciate the comment and thanks for dropping in. I'm with you. I'm a bit concerned, and you might have heard me answer just before, but I'm a bit worried that I just feel like there's so much flowing through that Giants midfield. There's so much going on. I just wouldn't be surprised if over the next month or any time within that month that we just check the teams and, he's been dropped. He's played all right, but he's just been omitted. So I wouldn't be surprised. If he was 123, it's probably worth the roll of the dice. Paying more than 70k extra, so no thanks from me. Amusement Productions is the crazy ending in the goal kicking challenge when your old Resi's coach kicks a full field snack. Oh, mate, PTSD. This bloke knows how to bring back those trigger memories, I tell you. No, thanks for everyone who's jumped on board. If you stick around for the quiz, give us a little thumbs up. I really appreciate you getting around it. Oh, he's trouble. Jack Watson. Hey, Shorty, how was the kick? Many show up. You're a wise guy, Jack. You're a real fucking wise guy. No, you showed up, didn't you, mate? You did show up, so I appreciate that. But you didn't want to have a kick, and that's fine. That's fine. But lock your door, mate. That's all I got to say. The Mr. Happy Go Lucky Man. Thoughts on Geelong boys' chance over Freo this week? Going to the game. I was at the Hawks versus Geelong game. What a blow. First game in 2 years. And we get a gold medal for diving in the Olympics. Okay, Tom Hawkins. Yes, I thought as much. No, Tommy wouldn't be too happy with that. I'll be going to that game as well, mate. So I'm looking forward to that. And a big game, isn't it? I'm pretty confident on Geelong, but also very wary that the Dockers are a bloody good team now. And they're sort of up and coming. You've sort of got Geelong who are, probably just on that downhill slant of the mountain, and Dockers, well, they're rising up. So always a big challenge coming to the Cattery. But I'm looking forward to going along and just seeing how that one pans out. Amusement is back. I don't know what was more hotter on the weekend, captaining Clary or witnessing the Ollie Dempsey cheer squad. Yes, it was some enthusiastic young lads. That's what we love to see. And to Captain Clary, that was a pretty ballsy move, mate. That's what we like. Well played. GM, not sure if it's been asked, but thoughts on Vloston. Yeah, it hasn't been asked, but no, not for me. I think he's been around long enough for us to know that he's capable of a massive game like this, but equally he's just not a guy that we need to consider as a premium. So great score on the weekend. Not one to consider, I don't think. TG's going Hayes and Rochelle to Oliver and Sam Hayes. Pretty happy to be able to do that and to avoid the Grundy drama. I bought Hobbs in for Roses at the last second last week, hoping he doesn't come back yet. Yeah, fair enough. You've done well to avoid the Grundy drama. There's no doubt about that. That Grundy selection just has not worked out. In fact, the ruck has been a bit of a disaster this year. And hopefully Hobbs can bounce back for you too, mate. Cameron, Luke Parker, good price. Do we get him in? I'm preaching yes. I mentioned him last week. I liked what I saw. He scored 100, but I thought he played better than that. I still can't work it out. I looked at his stats. It was, not sure, but I would be. I think at that price, you almost got to have a crack at him. Franklin's come back. Let me look at his. Can I find his centre bounces? I really felt that he was back in business in terms of a centre bounce setup. Well, that's not going to help me. They're last week's. Let's see if this website's updated. Oh, shit. What's this? Oh, boy. Sydney. Do we have round 6? Luke Parker, 75% of centre bounces. Where was Heaney at? Gee, barely went in there. I mean, he can score when he's forward, Heaney, but I'd like to get him in the midfield a bit more. Where are you, Tom Papley? Get in there. But yes, big yes on Luke Parker. Talvin, thoughts on Hayes and Grundy to Rochelle and Sam Hayes, Boak and Heaney. Hang on, what was that? Hayes, Grundy and Rochelle to Hayes, Boak and Heaney. Yeah, I can't argue with that. Look, I've previously said that Boak just is running hot, but he's a bit old, but he keeps running hot, so he's not one that I'm jumping over rooftops to sort of get, but it's hard to argue with his form. Jesse says, hey, Daddy. How you going, mate? When are we going out for dinner, mate? I remember that was you, wasn't it? Talking about our little dinner date. How are you, man? Max, Mills or Heaney, who do I bring in? Oh, gee, tricky one. I'd almost say Mills, just on the fact that if you like both of them, well, Mills is coming off a 200, Heaney's coming off an 80. So, I mean, if you want to grab them both, the ship's moving on Millsy. So, if you don't get Mills this week, we ain't getting him for another month or so. That's all I'd say on that one, I reckon. But they're both reliable keepers for your team. Sportsnut says CJ for Sam Doherty. Yeah, look, Doc probably comes under the same category as Bo. Probably an older guy that I maybe disrespected and just thought they were having a hot month to start the year, but they look like they're here to stay. Again, not one that I'm actively chasing, but in great form. So it's hard to argue. Steve Mill, hey, bruz, brought in Seb Ross 4 weeks ago. Best thing I've done. Thinking about Luke Dustin now. Are we taking the piss here, or have I missed something? Have I missed something, big fella? Oh shit, no, he's not taking the piss. Big Seb Ross is going bang with a few tons. Look, that's a handy little pickup, mate. But I can't say I could endorse the selection of Luke Dunstan. Bit of a nothing trade for mine, I think. Let me just check the numbers. 501. He scored a 67. You're taking the piss, man. You're taking the piss out of me. I thought Dunstan might have actually scored all right. You're taking the PI 55 right out of me. That's all right. That's all right. We're all for the banter. Andrew's in the house. Hey, sexy. There you go. Some banter on cue. Hope your week's started off well. Luke Parker at 475 and a break even of something like 65. Bring him in, my friend. Bring him in. I hope you're well too. Week started off all right. Couple of assessments to do though. Been busy. Director Cogger, love the content. Would have come to the kick with the missus if it was in Perth. Thanks, Jackson. Nah, that's all right, mate. Appreciate the love, my friend. Great to hear the couple of viewers all around Australia. How's it going over there in Perth? What are we like? E5:30 over there? That how it works, I think. Something like that. But no, that's all right. Thanks for the comment, and I'll definitely chat to you soon. That's where are we? Oh, nearly lost me spot there. Panto, hey Shorty brother, hope your week's been good, mate. Thank you very much, friend. I'm going with Keys instead of Clary. Got the money for anyone, but Keys looks good. Thoughts? Look, I would always go the more proven guy, I must admit, and that's Clayton. So I would probably go Oliver. But I can't argue against Benny Keys. He's on fire. So, but no, I appreciate your thoughts, mate. And I hope your week started off nicely too. Cheers for the comment. Zane, Shorty, how are you, mate? Going all right? How are you traveling, mate? I went aggressive last week and it paid off. Scored 2-3-1-5. Very nice. Have 552 in the bank. Oh, no, just for the primo. Who do you recommend I go for? Good stuff. Who do I recommend? I think Petrarca's nicely priced. You're just off Brayshaw. Duke Miller is a guy that I know that, look, Petrarca and Miller, they haven't quite hit their straps, but I do have a lot of faith in these guys producing 110+ seasons. And I think they're at a nice price. I know they don't look great now, and we're more inclined to jump on someone who's running hot, but I'm anticipating a bounce back from these guys. So that's what I'd say. Andrew says, in Tassie at the moment, so I couldn't make the kick. So sorry, Daddy. How can I repay you? That's all right, mate. Just jump along next time. I'm sure we'll get a bit of a kick sometime soon, mate. Jesse's back. Daddy, thoughts on Grundy, Hayes, Horn Francis for Libba, Parker, Hayes? Talk to me, Daddy, with a bit of oh yeah at the end of that one. He's a loose unit, this guy, and we love it. I'm not as much about the Libba trade. I know it looks like he's returned to a bit more midfield style, but it's just 1 week. He's been up and down. I love the Parker trade. I'm not as enthused about Libba. It's not like he's super cheap. That's all I'd say on that one, but not sure what other options you've got. Tim Taranto is definitely one we should lock in our teams once he drops a little bit after that 60. So keep that in mind. Field Ollie, hello. I decided to keep Grundy, and now that he is injured, who do you reckon I get in? I'm thinking Sam Hayes, mate. I don't know if you've already got him, but that'd definitely be my option. I think it's Bruce, it's Hayes. I'm guessing you probably don't have both, but I'm thinking one of those guys might hopefully answer your question. And Jono said, Field says something else. Thoughts on Grundy, Rochelle, and Hayes to Parker, Oliver, and Hayes? Yeah, that's good, mate. I wasn't sure who you had, but that's good. That's a good trade. And Jono says, thoughts on Grundy, Rochelle, and Hayes to Parker, Oliver, and Hayes? Absolutely. It's looking very, very common, that sort of stuff. Grundy to Hayes, Parker being a must-have, Oliver, people jumping on board. I like it. NJD, Shorty, what's going on, mate? How are you? Thanks for jumping on board. Hope most of you guys are staying around for the quiz. We've got a bumper quiz coming up, 10 questions. I'm looking forward to it. Leroy's in. Hey, Shorty, any chance of a subscriber kick happening in Melbourne soon? Would definitely have gotten down there yesterday, but couldn't make it all the way to Geelong. I think you might have commented. I haven't got round to answering all the comments, but I reckon I saw one just pop up in the notifications. Not a bad idea at all, actually, because I was thinking that. I was like, look, I've got a lot of people that probably would come along for a kick, but you probably rule out 90% of them just by the mere fact you're in Geelong, and realistically, only Geelong and Melbourne people can come, and you're asking a bit for people to come an hour. It's a bit. So, yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility at all. I'd say next time I do it would be in Geelong, but there'll be more, so I might keep that in mind. Next one might be Geelong and then possibly Melbourne. I wouldn't have a clue where to do it in Melbourne, but I like your idea. Jesse says, sorry, couldn't come for a kick, Shorty. My car broke down in Alice Springs. I had to sleep on a cactus. Ouch, daddy. This prick just kills me. Oh, mate. No good, brother. That's no good. Caleb, yes, definitely love the juicy double upgrade. Oh, it's juicy, mate. I'll be getting a juicy double upgrade this week too, boys. Look out. Oscars, what's going on, mate? How are you? Thoughts on Dan Houston at D5 and thoughts on Luke Parker? I love the sorry, I was just typing Dan Houston. I love the Luke Parker vibes. Why can't I trust Dan Houston? It's not like he's cheated on me. What's going on here? 144, 83, 83, 93, 96, 108, 108. Yeah, look. Dan Houston's a guy that I feel like has been historically inconsistent, but he's flying this year. So I don't know if there's been a role change. I haven't seen too much of Port in the flesh. So I can't argue with you there, mate. He's not on my radar, but the numbers don't lie. He's looking very good. 5, hey, Shorty, how should I start structuring my team for buys? Is there any sort of formula to it? Not really, but we are starting to get to that point where it's worth thinking about, isn't it? So there is no method to the madness. All I would say is start to think about it with maybe some premiums that you bring in, but never prioritize a guy over someone else. Okay, you like player A, but player B has a better buy structure. I'd always go the player you prefer because we got no idea who could get injured, what could change in a month or so's time. But when we get closer, you can definitely, and I'll talk about it more when we get towards it, it's definitely some trading strategy that can help you. To put it simply, if we didn't trade throughout our whole buys, we would receive 30 zeros because all our players would have a buy at one point. So if you trade smartly, you can drop that number to 26 or 27. Any number that you can drop it below 30 is going to be advantageous to your side. But we'll talk about that more as we get closer. Leroy says Grundy, Jack Hayes, and Rochelle for Oliver, Sam Hayes, and Cripper. Thoughts? That's a nice trade. I'm really liking these trades, guys. Hayes is a must. Oliver looking great. Cripps, yep. I think these are going to be popular. NJD, the quiz better not be rigged again. Can't wait, though. Whoa. Wasn't rigged last week. Couple of tough questions, which, you got to throw them in there sometimes. But no, I think this week's quiz was very relevant to the weekend. There are a couple outside of, more historical ones, but I'm looking forward to it. Corey, Brayshaw or Keys, Shorty? That's tough. I lean towards Brayshaw, but maybe that's just a personal preference because I am a favourite of Brayshaw's. I love him, but both going very nicely. Pod, hey, Shorty, what's going on, mate? Thanks for dropping in. Andrew's in the town as well. Hey, Shorty. If the quiz is rigged, we will show up to the next week's kick with the only goal of bashing Shorty. Oh, boy. There's nothing like a bit of a loose threat for your Tuesday night, is there, Andrew? Chappie's up. What's going on? You missed my bloody question. Anyway, I'll ask it again. You're kidding me, man. Did I miss it? Well, nothing's popped up, Chappie. Where are you, brother? Where are you, mate? You're one of me faves, chap. I don't want to be missing your question. Put it through again, mate. I'll definitely get to it. Benjamin Butcher. Hey, Shorty. Sorry I've missed the last 2 streams. That's all right, mate. Good to see you back. Thinking of going Grundy to Bruce and getting Jack Hayes and Rochelle to Oliver and Greg Clark. Maybe shouldn't go this early on Clark. Did he play on the weekend? Did I miss that? I probably agree. Potentially a bit early. I didn't miss it. He must just be returning. Where am I? I like the other trades very much. I would say yes. I would wait. Obviously, you need a downgrade, but I would wait and see. Just any chance we can wait and see what these rookies actually do once they're in just gives us. It's just playing the percentages. I think he's likely going to be a really good option. Where's Tom Joyce at as well? He's a good guy at West Coast. That was going to be a nice cash cow for us. But anytime we can wait 1, 2 games, get a look at him, just gives us a better chance of making the right call. Corey said, I traded in a great pod last week, Witherden. Yeah, true. He's in a couple of my draft teams and he's flying. He's just racking up kicks down at halfback, isn't he? Heath downgrading Grundy to Hayes as I have Bruce. Nice, mate. I'm doing exactly the same. I like it. Joe's in the house as well. Shorty, this one's serious. Should I target Jack McRae or Archie Perkins? Would love to hear your personal insight. Yeah, it's pretty deep insight, mate. You got to strongly consider Perkins, but I just lean towards McRae. Only just, mate. But hopefully that one's put your mind at rest there. Theo, fan of Riley O'Brien for Grundy and Sam Hayes. I've got 350k in the bank. Love the show, bro. Thank you, mate. No, I appreciate you getting involved. Don't know. The only question I'd say on Riley O'Brien is he one of your top rucks? That's the only thing I'd say because we've got a few. How's he been going? Look, aside from that 61, he's been going all right. Yeah, tricky one. He's going okay. I get the sense that, Grundy's out for so long, Nick Nat's out for a while. Yeah, look, he's probably climbed a few ranks just by the mere fact a few guys are out. So, no, don't mind it. Don't mind it. Bit of cash in the bank leaves you nicely set up too. Brody, hey Shorty, what's your plans now with Grundy going down? Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm going down to Hayes. In a way, it made my decision easier. I was originally going Witts or Grundy down to Hayes. Had to find a way. And the news of today just answered that question for me. Corey says Fife apparently may be coming in round 10, as Longmire said on 360 last night. Okay, nice. Well, that'll be good for Freo. Be interesting to see how it is for Will Brodie. Pod, Shorty, are you the priority midfielder? Can't read tonight. Who are the priority midfield upgrades in order, in your opinion? In order. Well, I guess in my mind, I've just purely been thinking about Brayshaw, Miller, and Petrarca, I must admit. That's just because I already have Oliver. I'd got Jack Steele, so I think those guys are must-haves as well. The reason I like the three guys I just mentioned is I feel like they're top 6 to 8 mids and they're underpriced at the moment. Probably Brayshaw's about right, but Miller and particularly Petrarca, 550k, it's a steal. So I would still, if money's not an issue, I would rank them Brayshaw, Petrarca, Miller. Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky Man, why is no one going Sinclair? Possibly one of my best pods this year. Yeah, honestly, that's a really good point. I've got him in a couple of draft leagues, and he's as consistent as ever. I think he's just flying under the radar, mate. So you must be happy about that. It's hard to find a point of difference these days, but he is one at the moment. Oscar is Tristan Cherry's time to go for Luke Parker. Is it Tristan Cherry's? Yes, it is. He's been good for us, but definitely time to trade him. And Luke Parker is nicely priced. I think the stars have aligned on that one. B, what is your go-to girl? Do you prefer tall, blonde, blue eyes or Asian soft skin? Or do you take what you can get? Look, we're drifting heavily into Shorty OnlyFans territory here, but I'll leave that one up to you guys to just ponder and leave a bit of mystery out there. Don't want to get too risky on the old live stream, but I appreciate the loose comment. Historically, a bit more of a brunette man, actually. So, yeah, there's a bit of food for thought. Jace, sure, man. Hope you're well. Managed to scrape a dirty win this week in draft. Got the wrong Hayes for St Kilda. Scored 16. Love a dirty win. It's great stuff. Good, mate. Well played. I won 2 out of my 3 draft leagues and lost one by like 11 points. Absolutely spewing. Dylan, worth looking at Nick Vlaston. No, I don't think so. Big week, but he's given us many, many years of great footy, but not really Supercoach relevancy. So I don't see why it would change now. So, yeah, and Jacob says, thoughts on Vlaston. Hopefully that one answered you both in the one sentence there. Billy, what do you reckon of I don't even know what that says, Bill. The boys having a bit of fun there. There's the pod, Leroy. The lads are getting around it. Billy's back. Sorry about the comment. Accidentally clicked send. Okay. Well, Billy will be back at some stage. That's all right, mate. Georgios, thoughts on the Pies without Grundy? How do you think they'll go? Oh, it's a massive blow. I know he's been a bit out of form, but who do they replace him with? Max Lynch, ironically, would have got to go. Honestly, I don't know too much about who would be their backup. Does big old Mason Cox start to ruck a bit more? Surely not. I'm sure they have someone there that can do the job that I'm just not aware of, but it'll be a blow for them. Absolutely. I think it'll impact them to an extent, but they've still got a lot of other youth that I think is pretty promising. So there'll still be other little wins along the way for the development. Josh, best player to get under 550 in the back line or mid? Backline's probably slightly. I mean, Tom Green's 546. I'd have to say him down back. I do really like Jordan Dawson. I know he just hasn't quite got that ceiling about him just yet, but I really like Dawson. And honestly, Jaden Short at 526, I feel like that's a no-brainer. And I also think Scotty Pendlebury, not a bad option down there as well. So hopefully that helps you there. Josh, thanks for the question. Heath, hey, Shorty, love your work. Who's your top 6 forwards? Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. My top 6 forwards in no particular order, just when they come into my head. But we got Tim English, we got Josh Dunkley, we got Isaac Heaney, we got Tim Taranto. I think Luke Parker will start to boost his way up there. Let's have a look at my side. Who have we got in there? I reckon that's 5 for sure. English, Heaney, Dunkley, Taranto, and who did I say? Parker. In terms of maybe a 6th, I did have a lot of faith in Zach Butters, but it's just not. Look, you'd almost have to pay someone like Treloar or Cornelio the respect they probably deserve. To be fair to go, he's going all right, but Martin, if he returns, I don't think I missed anyone of genuine note there. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of a few of the guys cross my mind there. Mitch Duncan as well on the cheaper side of things. I think he'll bounce back and be solid once he gets into the swing of the season. Mick, thanks, Shorty. The mid's looking good now. He's got McRae, Steele, Oliver, Walsh, Brayshaw, Petrarca, Cripps. That's your midfield. Holy shit, mate. Smashing it. That's a whopper midfield. Well played. Levi, make your bed, Shorty. It's advice that I've been offered many a time. You'd think I'd do it one day, wouldn't you? Ben, your number's up. It's just a couple of threats flying around tonight. Jeez, I might lock me doors. Honey Pig, thoughts on potentially getting Rosie in this week? What a name. The old Honey Pig's in the house. No, not for me. Great week. Good couple of weeks. But I can't get on board. Hot and cold. Just got risk really written all over it. So not for me, mate. Not for me. Caden, thoughts on Zach Bailey, and is Hayes a must-have? I don't quite see Bailey in the conversation of premium to get in. He might have a really good year, but I just think there's other guys that are getting better midfield time. He kicked 6 or whatever on the weekend. So he is still playing a lot forward because he plays it so damn well. But there's other guys I feel are a bit more consistent. And I do think Hayes is a must-have, mate. I think you got to get him in. Not too many. It's hard to find cash cows as we move through the season. So to get one like this, I think you got to get on board. Max, do we know when English is back? How are you, mate? Good to hear from you. I know last week when I was researching, it was 2 to 3. So I'd imagine it won't be this week. And then after next week, it's probably just a wait and see how he's traveling. So that's about the latest I know. The Shelly Bean. Hey, Shorty, could you rank Callum Mills, Brayshaw, Petrarca from best pick to worst? I'm planning to get 2 of the 3, and I'm not sure which ones to go. Thanks. No worries, mate. All good. I'll ponder that one. Honestly, gut feel, I look at it and I say Brayshaw, Petrarca, Mills. And that sounds a little crazy, doesn't it? That sounds a little crazy because Mills has just scored 200. If you really, I don't know. Look, I do love Callum Mills as well. He's in one of my draft teams, and it's a really tough 3. That was my gut instinct as I looked at it. What I would say, if your opinion is Mills, then pull the trigger this week. Pull the trigger this week. The only thing I'd say with Petrarca is there was talk about his knee soreness the other day. Like, is that slightly just putting him that 10 points off his absolute best? I'm not sure. But if you like Mills, now's the time to go. I'm not telling you anything you don't know there because that score is going to skyrocket his price. Caden trading out Dow instead of Horn Francis this week. Thoughts on my trades? Grundy, Dow, and Hayes out for Hayes, Oliver, and Roses. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Roses does come back. That is one thing for sure. Didn't old Thompson Dow go too well? Oh, shit. Fuck, that's brutal. Well, yeah, I see why you're doing that. Scored 12. He got subbed off, did he, I think? No, I like it, mate. I like it. Just wait and see on Roses. That's all I'd say. Leroy says Grundy, Jack Hayes, and Rochelle to Jack Steele, Oliver, Sam Hayes. Asking for a mate. Nothing wrong with that, man. That's a good trade. Double upgrade. Juicy stuff. Andrew, thoughts on cheap 102K? Andrew's in a mood tonight. He's feeling a little saucy. D-Mac, prioritise getting Oliver or Parker, leaning towards Clary. I'm with you there, mate. Always go the more proven if cash is not an issue. And I would go Oliver. Prime of his career. Ethan, g'day, Shorty. Traded out Zach Bailey last week and has taught me a valuable lesson in trading my premiums. Oh, boy, that hurts. Look, honestly, I probably would have backed you in with Bailey because in terms of trading him, I would have agreed with you. I don't feel like he's a top 6 to 8 forward, but it does throw a bit of salt in the wound when he comes out and kicks 6 or whatever and gets best on ground. So it does hurt, mate, this game sometimes. Thanks for everyone who's jumped on board, guys. Really appreciate it. Like I said, quiz will be probably around 9:40. I'll throw the code out there and we'll get you guys joining up. So really looking forward to that. So hopefully a lot of you guys can stick around. Andy T, hey Shorty, hope you're well, mate. What are your thoughts on Lipinski as a keeper forward, top 6 to 8? Good luck this week. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I'm going all right. How are you traveling, my friend? Lipinski is a really interesting guy. I feel like he's definitely not top 6. I feel like he's just around that 8 to 10 mark. Look, probably not, mate. I didn't realize he only scored 62 on the weekend. Aside from round 1, he's just been probably below par, to be fair. So I would view him as a guy to upgrade to someone else, but not urgent. He's got scoring ability, but not urgent. So, yeah. Jacob says, Doc, only 2. Must have said something earlier that I can't remember. But James says, hey, Shorty. Hey, guys. What's going on, James? Good to hear from you. Jono, with my trades, I only need 1 mid as well. That's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Trav, hey, beautiful. Miss Will Brody at the start of the year. So do I get him in now whilst I can? We'll go for someone more reliable in the forward line, Heaney or Parker. I'd go for one of the more reliable guys, mate. I know Brody's traveling real nice, but I don't know if we can sit here and say he's a keeper. I think he's doing all the right things, but aside from that 135 where he had 37, he's only had solid scores, like super consistent. But I do wonder how it'll all work when they do have a full complement of their midfield with Fife and all that sort of stuff. So I'll go for the more proven. Adam, he's having a bit of fun here, Adsy. He's come in with a little zinger. He's nearly got me too. Morgan says Luke Parker or Petrarca, Shorty. Tough. That's tough. Look, I'd almost go, and it's sort of contradictory, but depending on how your whole side's looking, I'd almost go Parker just because of his break even. I might have, yeah. Look, I did say Oliver to DMAC before as well. I probably didn't think about Parker's break even. Yeah, it's a tough one. Look, Parker, you won't get him at this price again, but Petrarca's going to score you more points for the rest of the year and more reliable, I guess. So I probably haven't really answered your question, but try and get both. That's what I'm looking to do this week. Get in a premium mid and Parker. Steve said Ross huge. Jay 6:30 p.m. here in Harvey. Oh yes, nice. WA short. Yeah, nice one, mate. WA is a nice part of the world. I went on a nice little holiday pre-COVID. I quite enjoyed it. Luke says, "Hey, Shorty, Mills or Oliver?" I would still go Oliver, mate. I know Mills went bonkers, but to be fair, I think they're both outstanding options. So I'm not going to sit here and say one's better than the other because I think you'd be happy with both of them in your final team for the year. Heath, is Cogs a keeper? I prefer him as a keeper option to Brody, but they're both going really, really well. I would say a really handy guy to have as your F6 or an M8 just swinging around towards the end of the year. I get the sense that he probably isn't an absolute keeper, but he should be like the last guy that you think about trading out. So there's no rush because he's capable of big scores. And I'm happy to just see how it unfolds as we go, I reckon. Brandon, Daddy, my Supercoach team is fucked. What do I do, Daddy? Oh, mate, just ask me questions. That's what you do. Just hit me up. I'll try and help. And he says, do you think English is going to be all right? We're going to be all right. He'll be okay, man. You'll be okay. He'll be back soon, mate. You'll be back soon. Pod Took has to lift. He does, mate. What's going on? Big start to the year. He's just dropped off a smidgen. Michael, thoughts on Kadeen Coleman in for Rochelle? Nah, too early for mine, a bit sideways for mine. Coleman would have to show us a little bit more than what he has. I'd much prefer to either upgrade from Rochelle or pocket some cash if there's someone on the way down that you prefer. And Pod also says Vlosten in my team at the moment. No, I'm not sold on him being a keeper, guys, but he is getting a bit of love. Josh says, what defense pod should I get? In terms of point of difference, I mean, is Pendlebury a little bit point of difference? Jordan Dawson sort of springs to mind. Alex Witherden is a guy that I think Corey might have traded in. So have a look at Jesse. I'll tell you what, we got some genuine freaks around tonight. And I say that respectfully because I encourage the freaks to come out. We got Jesse's on fire. Adam's in the house. Andrew's feeling a bit freaky. We got Brandon, absolute loose unit. We love that. And Jesse's here and he just says, I love Daddy. And it's been a long time since I've heard that. So thank you, Jesse. I needed that. And Jacob says, Laddams for Grundy. Not the worst idea. It's a bit neither here nor there for mine. I don't mind it if you're eventually planning on swinging Laddams forward. I don't think you want to keep in that ruck department for too long, but I don't mind it because it gets you a little bit of cash and Laddams is going to ruck solo for at least a month, which is handy. Darley Cross, thoughts on Rosie? I'm going to jot this down because Rosie is becoming quite an interesting topic of conversation. We got Laddams discussion, we got Rosie Vlosten, bit of discussion there. Just trying to jot down a few guys, get the flavour of the week for my preview. But it's a no from me. Just hot and cold. Hot and cold. Just hasn't proven himself. All the talent in the world, and he's shown it the last couple of weeks. But I couldn't sit here and say, yep, get him in because I got no faith that he'll be consistent. Could be a great pick, but I'm happy to just sit off and see what happens. Capable of 40s and capable of 150s. So dangerous. Oh, Brandon's back. Oh, with a serious one. Trades are English, Hayes for Gorn and Hayes. Fucking sideways trade's killing me. Oh, mate, nothing worse than a sideways trade, is there? It's like getting catfished. Hey, we know how that feels. But Xavier, g'day, Shorty. Thinking of trading Rochelle and Hayes for Parker and Dempsey as I can't afford Sam Hayes, who I would rather. How'd the kicking comp go? Oh, boy, mate. I wouldn't pull the trigger just yet on Dempsey. I'd be concerned about his job security. Oh, can you find a way to get Sam Hayes in? I'd love you to, mate. I really think he's a must-have cash cow, but I'm not fully aware of your whole side. And the kick was good. We didn't get anyone along subscriber-wise, but had a really good kick. And I wasn't too disheartened. Sometimes you got to give these things a crack. It didn't work first time, but we'll be back for another kick. And me and Langers had a real good battle. That'll be up tomorrow night. So some horrible kicks and some nice snags from the pocket. So don't mind that. Thanks for the question, mate. And thanks, James. What's going on? Had an absolute mare. Oh, boy, on the weekend. Traded Wits for Bruce and kept Grundy. Oh, boy. Traded Rowell and kept Shitfield. Oh, shit, that hurts. Lowest score of the year and out of the top 5K. I almost lost a game by 2. Oh, mate, that is one to forget. I feel like we're at polar opposites after the week. I was up and about and you're feeling the pain. Hang in there, mate. Hang in there. You'll bounce back. I have faith. You've had a good year. Get Whitfield out of the team and bounce back. NJD, Shorty, if the quiz was hosted in person in Nigeria, I'd still make sure to make it. That's the commitment we need. It's a commitment we need, mate. Oh, I hope you get up for the quiz, mate. We got a few keen. Where's James? James was keen for the quiz before. Griffin, does the Freo game scare you? A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. They're up on the rise, the Dockers. Still very tough to win down at the Cattery, but I'm a bit worried in the midfield, to be honest, mate. I think the Dockers have a better midfield than us, particularly if Dangerfield doesn't come back. Bit worried. So, big game. Goat Papa got screwed with 6 injuries this week. Going to go Grundy, Jack Hayes, Jason Horn-Francis for Sam Hayes, Parker and Wits. Got English on the bench in the forward line. Hoping he's only out for another week. Thoughts? Yeah, don't mind that. I really like your trades. And for your sake, I hope English is back sooner rather than later. There's nothing worse than seeing a premium on the bench. You really want to get him back in ASAP. So, yep, I like that, mate. Black Betty, hey, mate, how are you? Thanks for dropping in. Cameron, time to get rid of Josh Ward. Yeah, look, he could go, by the way. So I've been sitting here for a few weeks waiting to see what we saw in that preseason game. I just haven't seen it. So equally, you could keep him and equally, you could trade him. So, Jesse, Daddy, can I loophole you into my bedroom? That's classical. Oh, you're a funny man, mate. You're a funny man. No worries, 5. Thanks for tuning in, Caden. Oop, nearly scrolled past you there, mate. Would there be any other better options in the ruck than Sam Hayes? Not really. No, I mean, not in terms of that type of player. I mean, you just got to get him in. Cash cow, making you lots of cash on the way down, going to make you a lot of cash on the way up. So get him in, I reckon. Jickle, do you think Brayshaw's average will drop after 5 comes back in? Maybe marginally. I mean, there might be a slight sharing of the points because I think Fife will ease his way into it. But I really do think Brayshaw is such an integral part of their midfield. And by drop, I mean maybe 2 or 3 points. Yeah, he's a keeper, mate. I reckon he's a definite gun. Gus says, Oliver Dempsey in, you reckon? I'd hold on that. I wouldn't jump at it. He was good, but Gary Rowan is probably the main threat to his position. And just being a Cats man, he'd have to play some real good footy to lock himself in. So I'm happy to see another week. But if he goes again this week really nicely, then absolutely. But I probably wouldn't do it off one game. Ben says Greg Clark didn't play, but I'm pretty sure he has been confirmed to debut. Nice. That's real handy. Yeah, like I said before, probably happy to wait and see, but that's promising. That's promising. Caleb, how do you think Will Brodie will be affected when Fife comes back and his Cogs a keeper? Like I said before with Cogs, I reckon I doubt that if he's a keeper, but very strong chance. I prefer it to Brody. I think Cogs, you could just leave him in your team until he's the last bloke you got to think about. He can be your M8, he can be your F6, and if the time comes and there's a trade that suits to someone better, then it suits. But we can keep him for a while, I think. And a bit like Brayshaw, I feel like the Fife return will probably affect Brody more. I think the way it always works is there's always probably three main guys. When you look at the centre bounces, there's normally three guys in the ruckman that have the bulk of your 15 plus centre bounce attendances. And I know it'll be Brayshaw if Fife goes back in there, and then is Mundy in there a bit? Is Sarong in there a bit? How does it sort of work? Is it Brody? I think it'll affect him potentially by 5 or 10 points, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Brady, Voston, a shout, leaves 200K in the bank. I'm going to have to see what he's priced at. Is there something I'm missing here? Nah, 460, nah. Which allows to pick up English in a week. No, look, I'd stay clear of Loston, guys. I really don't get the hype. I know he scored big. What did he do the other week? Because he's been, back to? I think he scored 155. So 98 and 155. That's fantastic. He's returned really, really well. But the bloke is 28 years old, and at 460K, well, he needs to be a premium. We're not picking him to make us 70K, are we? That's not worth a trade. His last averages 84, 90, 91, 81, 78, 74. Bloke's not a premium. I don't see it changing. So, no, it's not for me. DMAC, is Roses still a good buy this week, assuming he plays, or is a dodgy calf an issue? No, if he plays, bring him in. I think we got to back him in that if he plays, that he's right. But not really sure. I've got no idea if he's going to play or not. And James says, what do you think about Hayes to Hayes? Grundy to Heaney via English and Cherry DPP into the ruck, and Shipfield to Oliver DPP. Only problem is that this will be a boost 3 already. No, I really like it. And there's nothing wrong with a boost if they're good. It's a good trade combo. So, no, that's good, mate. That's exactly why we've got the trade boost. Ben, what's going on? Next week, should I go Darcy or go McRae and complete my midfield? I'd be completing the midfield, mate. Yeah, I'd be bringing McRae in for sure. Confident, humble, beautiful thing, Emily. that's her name. And she's got a couple of questions here. I think Bailey Smith at 80 points this week was a weak effort. Hope he gets back to the 150s. And Rosie is looking rosy. Yeah, look, Smith started really well, but it wasn't really the doggies' day, was it? So he's a star. He'll be back. Wasn't ideal because quite a few did bring him in. But, yeah, Rosie's looking all right, but I wouldn't be getting swooned into that one. I think he could be a bit of a trap as well. He's running hot at the moment, but I'd be concerned about bringing him in. Tony, what do I do with Grundy? Get rid of him. And for Sam Hayes, if you got Sam Hayes, Braden Pruce, I reckon. So I don't really see many doing the sideways trade. Like, I think, yeah, Sam Hayes is the guy. I think that'll be most popular sort of trade. Oh, Brandon, it's cancelled. It's cancelled one. It's not going to cancel me, mate. Oh, I do appreciate the banter. There's just some things I won't read out. Gus, Shorty, what do you think of Luke Dunstan, big cash cow? Well, Gus is taking the piss out of me. Come on, man. Didn't he score like 60, bro? We love the banter. We really do. Confident, humble, beautiful thing is back, but the guy could, I think it went, well, there you go. Backing up exactly what I said. Rosie could easily put together a few 30s. Jesse Freeman, I have the keys to his heart. Yeah, look, it's hard. I mean, Jesse has been smooth talking me for a few weeks now, so it's hard to say. Chappie, what the fuck? My question must be too long, and it's not popping up in your feed. I'll do it in 2 parts. Yeah, I didn't think I missed you, mate. Pop it in. I'll definitely get to it. Amusement Productions. Hi, Dad. When's the milk coming home? What the fuck? Oh, I love that. You're a crazy unit, man. Zach said, Rosie. Nah, not for me, mate. Too inconsistent. Can't trust him. Can't trust him, but super talent, not for my Supercoach side. Chapman, here we go. Okay, so Grundy to Hayes, Gorn, Bruce as rucks. Other trades, Rochelle and Jason Horn Francis to Keys and Pendles or Sicily. And he also says, keep in mind I'm 50k in ranks and need this to be a good trade, so not sure whether to go slightly bigger score in Sis or pod in Pendles. No, that's all. I'm glad we got the question. I was wondering where that was. Honestly, I'd go Pendlebury, mate. I really would. I think they'll score similar. And it was only a few weeks ago. Some people were saying, gee, Sicily hasn't been what I thought he would be. We got to trade him out. So things change quick. I'd slightly go the Pendlebury option. I think point of difference is a good positive, but I also think he's going to average very similar to Sicily. So if you want to make up a few points, I would go him. Brody, do we know anything about Roses yet? No, not yet. I certainly haven't heard anything. So stay tuned. I think we'll probably know more over the next couple of days. That's for sure. Cameron, gee, some of these questions are Shorty after dark content. They are, aren't they, mate? Well, I think once I've encouraged the looseness, they've come for it. They've come for it, the freaks, and that's what we're about. You come for the super coach, you stay for the banter. That's what the channel's about. We love it. Henry, Rash, Crisp, or Sinclair? Oh, that's tough. I'd almost say Sinclair the way he's going. I mean, Crisp is going really, really well too. I think they're both great options. I'd almost just go for whoever's cheaper, and I can't quite remember who, but yeah, both going well. Greg, hold English. Yeah, I would. Look, I think that probably more of a question for last week. I think once you commit to holding a guy for 1 week, if it's a 2 to 3 week, you're almost committing to holding it again. So unless we hear any news that he's not recovering too nicely, I'd hold. Amusement Productions been a bit of a wise guy. Shorty, worth looking at Robert Nahas. Old mate's just taking a bit of piss. Interesting. Okay. Chappy, keep in. Oh, yeah, I read that. Brody, I'm still holding English. Yeah, look, I would too, I think. Leroy, Pod must be identified as he has traumatized me. I haven't left my house since Wednesday from fear of being tracked by this mysterious person who knows all my personal information. It's a serious matter. Yes, nothing like a good stalker, is there, mate? So, yeah, take that one to your local police station and file a restraining order. Do what you got to do, mate. James, Darcy Cameron as a possible replacement of Grundy. That's a good point. I didn't think of Darcy. Has to be in front of Cox. Yeah, good point. I knew there was someone I'm missing, and that's a very good point. Short. Short est unhome sexy. No, you started a bit slow, Amusement, mate, but tonight you've come good. You've come good with the loose content, so well played. And that is a brutal name. I can't read that out, man. Hey, I do fantasy only, and your advice not good for me because my team not go so well. So I need to take advice from Warn the Dog. Warn Dog. That's all right, mate. That's all right. You can go wherever you like, but I understand AFL fantasy is a bit different to Supercoach. So if Supercoach isn't your go, just stay for the banter, my friend. Jesse, Daddy, chill. Oh, this bloke's back here. My hero is Gary Lyon, just like Tendulkar. Old Sachin in my village. He's a superstar. Gary Lyon. Oh boy, yes, he's a colourful character. Old Gaz. He's done a couple interesting things in his time, but we get around him. Amusement. Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Shorty's his career. Bob the Builder. No, we can't. I was really looking to put that Resi stuff behind me, mate, but thanks for bringing it up on a weekly basis. All right, the questions are slowing down. It's nearly quiz time. They're not slowing down because you're talking shit, mate. I can't get to the real ones. Nah, I'm just fucking with you, mate. But the quiz won't be too far off. It's like 9:15, so I give it 20 to 30. I love your work, Amusement, mate. You always give me a laugh. Ram McGar, hey, Shorty, when's the next big J collab? Shit, I thought it was going to be this week. I actually should message him. I messaged him last week. We were talking about doing it this week. But now that I look at it, I don't reckon I'm going to have time this week. So hopefully next. Hopefully next. Black Betty, my research on Roses, English, they will come back in 2 weeks and not sure about Dixon. Good, mate. That's good insight. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can get one of them back slightly sooner. Calves are tricky though, aren't they? Dixon and Roses suffering calves. Caden, is Roses still a must-have? Definitely just a wait and see on when he plays. Once he gets named or whenever that is, I think he is. Zach, Sam Hayes, Cripps and Heaney for Rochelle, Grundy and Hayes. Yep, nothing wrong with that, mate. That's a good trade. James says another part of my horror movie weekend was choosing Petrarca instead of Oliver. Oh, now I hear about the sore knee. Now I feel like a stupid coach. Look, I only heard that it was a couple of weeks ago, and they said he didn't train the full sesh, something with his knee. So I don't know. I don't know for sure, but that does sting, mate. I'm feeling for you. Levi says bring Cripps or Oliver in this week. I'd probably go Oliver, mate. I think without looking at the break evens, I think he'd have a slightly more appealing one. But you definitely want to look to bring in Cripps next week because he'll drop that 38. So definitely try and have a plan for both because both are at nice prices for what they can do. Caden got 331 in the bank to upgrade Horn Francis next week. Who do you recommend? Well, what's that? That'd bring you to, I think he's 326. So that's 650 something. You could do just about anything, couldn't you, mate? Oliver, Brayshaw, they'd probably be my two main guys. If you've Brayshaw's probably the one. I feel like you might already have Oliver. Junior Chogo, maybe 3 trades this week. Grundy to Hayes, English to Gorn, question mark, and Rochelle to Oliver. I still have 400k in the bank. Anything better I should be doing? Well, no, you've got Hayes there. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, the only thing I would say is, would you want to hold English? But there's nothing wrong with bringing in Gorn because he's bounced back beautifully, and I really like the Rochelle to Oliver trade. So I'd only think about the English one, but that's about all I'd say. Levi, also, is Sicily the best defender? Primo option at the moment saves me roughly 40k. Look, if you can use that 40k really nicely elsewhere, then yeah, he's a really good option. What is his price? Yeah, pretty solid, isn't it? I mean, you got Pendlebury around a similar price as well. I think it's definitely a really reliable option. He has been for some time. So, yeah, I think that's a good call. Jesse, or Grundy, Hayes for Gorn and Hayes. Talk to me, Daddy. On a serious note, I think that's a good trade, mate. I think that's a good trade. Amusement Productions. Will Daddy be sticking around post quiz for fun? Oh, you are a genuine freak. Oh, mate, you're pushing some boundaries tonight, I tell you. Adam, 700k for mid, just worth just getting Parker and holding. Yeah, I mean, if you're covered off on your Olivers and all that, I've said similar, like Brayshaw, Petrarca, Miller, all nicely priced, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with, you don't always have to use the cash you got, sort of thing. So, yeah, I'd be planning a couple of weeks ahead, mate. Get Parker and just see what you can do with that cash in the next couple of weeks. Maybe Taranto could be a guy. He's dropping into a nice range. Caden says, how much is Parker? I think 475, I think. Oh, yep, Aiden backs it up there. Adam also says, already got Steele, McRae, Oliver, Boak, and Track. I can't remember what you said, but otherwise, I would probably say Tuke Miller or Brayshaw. I presume you're talking midfield primos. Travis, Hinge not on the Crows injury list anymore. Let's go. That's what we want to see. Good. Particularly with McCartan going out. Definitely needed him back, didn't we? Jason's in the house. Evening, Shorty. Double downgrade. Rochelle and Jack Hayes. Out for Dempsey and Hollins. Is Hollins coming in? Is he in? I would potentially not pull the trigger too early on some of these guys. I'd prefer to wait and see on Dempsey. And Hollins hasn't played this year, so potentially don't go too early on some of these guys, but they've got a lot of potential if named. Mason, thoughts on Kane Farrell from Port? No, I'm not. look, I'm not even sure what he scored, but he's not a guy for us. He might have had a hot week. He's a handy left footer, but he's awkwardly priced. I wouldn't consider, mate, but he can kick a goal. I'll tell you that much. Callum, hey Shorty, what do you think about Callahan? My thoughts on him is that I just got a bad feeling that he could be dropped at any moment. You know what I mean? I know the Giants don't have a stack out, but I just get the sense that midfield, there's a lot going on, a lot changes. If he was 120, 130, 140, but that extra 50, 60K just puts me off a touch. So I know we don't have many options, but I'm probably going to let that one slide for me. Zach says, do I go Cripps and bank 180K or go for Clary? Probably depends. I'd take a look at your trades next week, mate. See if that 180K, if there's any guys that you really want to get next week. But I'd probably lean towards, look, the simple answer is get them both in over the next fortnight. I'd say Oliver, he's gone 120 or whatever it was in the 160. So he's dropped his poor score. Cripps will do the same. He'll drop that 30 next week. So I'd almost go Oliver this week, find a way to bring in Cripps next week if you can. TG, if English comes back next week, round 8, do I bring him in ASAP or give him a week to make sure he's straight back into it? I'd probably give him a week, just have a little look. Break even at 97. He's probably not going to get too far away from us, hopefully. I think you had a bit more. And are we preparing to look at Dusty when he's back too? Well, yeah, there's another question. You can prepare for it, but I'd pretty much just see how Dusty goes round. I mean, he's missed so much footy, not only throughout the preseason, but now with his time that he's taken away from the game. So I don't think we need to consider him just yet. And it's so hard to tell where he's at, when he's at. We'll probably judge that bridge when we have to cross it. And Corey says the Rosie discussion is because he played a good mid-roll game against West Coast. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I did see that he got more mid-time, but, I mean, Butter's got less mid-time. What happens, when he gets a bit more of that? I just can't trust him, mate. I know there's definite upside, but we've said that before. So he just falls into the category of if he proves me wrong, good on you. But I don't, it's too risky for me to put me hard-earned cash in there, I think. Black Betty Rosie could be a good upgrade in 3 or 4 weeks, but big risk. Yeah, I agree, mate. Let's just wait and see. If he goes great guns and he's become everything we thought, let's do it. But I don't want to go early on it. Heath says, when should the trade boost be getting used? Whenever you need it, mate. If you look at your trades and go, oh, God, I wish I could bring this guy in, do it. There's no limit. I think it's been brought in for that exact reason. When we need it, we can use it. Joey says, I have got Witts, Bruce, and Sam Hayes as my rucks now after the carnage, but I only got 22 trades left with the 1 boost left. Wow, he's gone hard. The rest of the team looks good, but I'm in trouble with these trades. I mean, you've obviously gone hard, but if your team's looking good, that's fine. I mean, you can sit back and say, hey, I traded aggressively. I traded well. Team's looking good. Sweet. I'd probably chill on the trades a touch, but if your team's going well, this is what I always say. If you got 22 trades left and your team's not doing well, that's when I'd be concerned. But if you traded efficiently and done the right things, you'll be right. Jace, what, no one turned up? As if I would have been there if it was in WA, short man. Oh, you're a good man. We love a bit of the WA vibe. No, we didn't get anyone, mate, as you'll see tomorrow night. But we'll be back. Don't worry. Not going to be discouraged by just the one. Archer, what do you think I can do to sort out the Grundy situation? Definitely Sam Hayes or Bruce would be the ones. I'm looking at Grundy's out as a opportunity to make cash and spend it elsewhere. So that would be my advice. Black Betty said Dusty Martin is looking big-bodied. Yeah, it'll be good to see him back up and running, won't it? Whenever that is. Lost me spot there. Oh boy, I really lost the spot. Here we are. Gus, who do you go for in the AFL? I'm a Geelong man, mate. Live here and barrack for the Cats. Then he says, "How's the NRL Supercoach going?" Not a big NRL guy, my friend, but hope you're going well. Corey, I think Shitfield had to be upgraded around his buy. I still have him, but need to upgrade him, I reckon. Yeah, it's time to go, unfortunately. It's time to go. James says, thoughts on Ridley to Witherden? He looks like a very, slap point pod right now. I tend to agree, mate. I tend to agree. Ridley, if you can do it, I would. If you got more pressing things, which most of us do, then that's understandable. But no, I'd probably do that. Zach, go early on Dempsey, Paul Curtis, or Greg Clark. Not for me. I'm happy to wait. Unless you're desperately needing that cash this week, I would probably wait. James is still pumped for the quiz. That's what we like to see. Not far away, 15 or so. Daniel, he'll be warming up for the quiz. Any chance of a kick near or in Melbourne in the future? As I know for me, going down to Geelong is a bit far, but would love to come to an oval around the city and have a kick. Absolutely. I've had a couple of people, and it's probably a good idea. A few people have mentioned this. Next one will definitely be in Geelong, but I'll definitely keep that in mind for maybe like a kick over summer or something like that. Honey Pig, cheers for the reply. By the way, appreciate it, mate. No worries. Thanks for popping in. Feel free to ask me a question anytime. We might be struggling to get through all these questions, but so first in best dress, we won't leave the quiz for too late, so I'll go to about 9:40 and hopefully get to as many as I can. Daniel King, do you know the AFL analysis channel? Quality Supercoach content, would highly recommend checking it out. Nice. I will. I must admit, I don't know them, so I'll check it out, mate. Black Betty, take the trek down the Silk Road, and you'll be. Oh, that's funny. Traded with a fortune cookie. I have Paul Curtis, and he gave me 51 in fantasy. Yeah, he kicked a nice little goal towards the end, didn't he? Amusement, how's the studies going, sir? Not bad. A bit to do at the moment. I've got a little presentation tomorrow, so I was working away on that. And yeah, just it's that time where you've just got a few assessments coming up in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, so I'll be knuckling down. Max, is the next Shorty Supercoach fan meetup going to be in Warm Ponds again? I'd say very, very likely, mate. Yep, very likely. I think we'll do that, and then maybe one in Melbourne later on. Xavier, thoughts on boosting just for Sam Hayes and Vloston is a massive trap with no intercept marks. Yeah, I agree on Vloston, mate. I'm not interested, and I would definitely boost to get Sam Hayes, mate. I think he's a must-have. Callan, hey Shorty, what do you think of me bringing in Finn Callahan from the Giants? Hey mate, how are you? Look, I'm probably happy to let this one slide for me. Bit expensive, bit worried about job security. That's probably the main factors for me. Unless you're super desperate for a downgrade in the mid, it'd be way better if he was 130k. But he's not because he's a top pick, so it is what it is. But Black Betty, have a kick with the Kung Fu Master. The loose units are in full force tonight. They are in full force, and I'm all for it. Greg, should I bring in Kalari or Walsh this week? I have McRae, Steele, Neal, Brayshaw, Track, Cripps, Rochelle, and Walsh currently just traded in. Not sure if I should do it or not. I mean, Walsh is a gun, but I would prefer Clayton Oliver if given the choice of the two. But Walsh is certainly a star of the competition. Daniel King says, thoughts on Luke Parker? Yeah, we mentioned him a couple of times earlier. I think he's great price. I'm getting him in. I don't think we'll see him at that price, and I really liked a bit more midfield time at the weekend with Franklin back. TG says, if Rose is set to play this week, do I use the boost to bring him in for Connor McDonald or Jason or Francis, even McCartan? Or is it not worth using the boost? No, absolutely. Don't miss a good cash cow. Use that boost. It's what it's there for. Cash cows are crucial. Zach, Shorty, since Rosie didn't kick any goals and scored 152, good signs. Look, I mean, it is, and he could be a gun, but I just don't feel like jumping on board. We know he can be a superstar in that midfield. He's got so much talent, but I'm happy to just watch from afar and just see what happens. Elise, Rao, Hayes, and Grundy to Hayes, Oliver. Yeah, look, I think what's that last bit? Either then. I think that's a pretty good option. Rao, yeah, he just hit his break even, didn't he? I think you got to bring Hayes in, which is a good option. So no, I think that's looking pretty nice. Not exactly sure on that last bit, but hopefully that did look like a pretty nice trade there, Elise. Luke, should I get in Brayshaw as my last mid? As I've got McRae, Steele, Neil. Fuck, that's a nice setup in the midfield. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. And yes, big Brayshaw fan. I would do that. Xavier says Ollie Wine's a cheap option? Question mark. I was thinking this during the week. He's such a clanger king, isn't he? Just he racks up the ball, scores 109. The AFL fantasy is always way higher. I wouldn't say rush to it, but he could be a really good M8. But I don't feel like he's a guy we need to prioritize. Harry says, should I trade McCartan? Absolutely. If you've got a good trade in line for him, then yeah, do it, because he will definitely miss this week with the protocols and is just about maxed out with his cash. James, Shorty, I'm thinking that the unmade bed is stirring up your OnlyFans people who have you as part of their... Something is definitely going on with those that subscribe to the page. Yeah, is it a full moon out there? Because the freaks are out in full force, but I'm not complaining. I encourage that behaviour, so I've only got myself to blame. But I think you're right, James. I think you're right. So, Jickle, thoughts on bringing in Dane Swan? Swanee, one of my favourites from way back. Leroy. Here we go. Any more Tinder stories to cheer us on, cheer us up from Grundy's injury like last week? I might have to bring that out, actually. That's a good point. Anytime I got to cheer you guys up, I might just delve into a little Tinder story and hopefully not get cancelled. So, yeah, I will not for now. We'll get to the questions, but stay tuned. I like to get a little bit loose after the Thursday night work session, late night preview. Stay tuned. Placey, hey, Shorty, thoughts on Grundy to Sam Hayes, Rochelle to Roses, and Jack Hayes to Clary? Love it, mate. Just watch this space on if Roses returns. Otherwise, really, really nice. Bo, I got 2,148 last week and used 3 trades. Sicily, Callaghan, and Driscoll out. Rochelle, Ridley, they were the outs. Yeah, fair. I'm not as in love with Callahan. Driscoll's probably still got some cash to make, I would say, mate. Haven't looked at his break even, but still got one of those hundreds tacking on to his 3-week rolling average. Just keep that in mind. Max, I personally think the unmade bed scenario has something to do with the bloke from Tinder. Oh, PTSD, guys. Absolutely. There's a trigger warning around that. Boy, oh boy. Corey, loving the Brayshaw talk tonight. I think he's your man crush, mate. Oh, he is. Do you remember how much I talked about him through in the preseason too? Anytime anyone was like, oh, potential point of difference, I was like, well, Andy Brayshaw's in 4% of sides. Wish I picked him. God damn. Will, thoughts on Mills? Huge score. Oh, it was massive. He's in one of my draft teams and absolutely dominated. Yeah, look, I love him. Big fan. If you want to get him, do it now, because obviously with that price, bang, it's going nuts off the back of that score. And Placey says, those trades I mentioned before also leave me with a juicy 230K to upgrade Jason on Francis next week to a premium defender or forward. Love it. Love the forward thinking, mate, and love the juiciness of that. That's good stuff. Caden, what do I do with Hayes if Roses isn't named and I only have under 500K? I think we're talking Jack, potential 0 in that forward line. Luke Parker would be your option, I reckon. And look, under 500K, Trelaw's in that mix. I think Mitch Duncan. I really think there'll be a time this year where we say, get Mitch Duncan in. He's so cheap. I know he's not on fire just yet, but he'll be all right. Mitch, how you going, mate? You reckon Luke Parker could be a good pod considering his break even? Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, mate. The unfortunate thing about that is I don't think he'll be a pod. I think he's going to prove very popular. But yeah, I'll be getting him in, and I reckon you should too. Hugh, what was your reaction when you saw Grundy was out? Honestly, it wasn't. I can get pretty angry with Supercoach sometimes, but it wasn't too bad because I was confused up until that point. I didn't know whether to trade Wits or what was going on with Grundy because I had to bring in Sam Hayes. And then it was like, well, that question's been answered. So my main issue is it fucks me draft side. That's what it does. But yeah. Amusement Production says, "Where's Jonah? I want Jonah. I need Jonah." Wait, Jonah. Oh, that bloke's asking for him again. Yeah. He wants him. I called out, mate. I don't know where he is, bro. We won't be too far off getting you guys involved in the quiz too. So if you've just asked a question in the last 5 minutes, I'm probably not going to get to it, but I'll give that code out in sort of 5 or 10. Cameron says, "How long is McCartan out for?" Bit of an unknown question. Definitely 1 week, but with his head knocks, it sounds like it's nothing too serious, but very hard to tell. Definitely this week because of the concussion test being failed. Other than that, it'll be hard to say. Caden says, "Should I field Roses or Rochelle?" Well, it totally depends if Roses gets named. I mean, if he does, I would field him. Supercoach Pro says, "Hey, Shorty, sorry I didn't make it yesterday. I had a Tinder date, stayed the night and forgot to get her an Uber early enough. Kicked a couple of goals." Oh, mate. No, don't apologise to me. It sounds like you were occupied, my friend. So that's nothing wrong with that. You lads crack me up. Caden, Crips or Steel has my captain options this week. Yeah, I haven't looked too deep into the skipper options, but you'll be doing well either way with those guys, I dare say. Ben, I started Jay Gresham. Do we think he could be a keeper? I'd probably put him in that conversation of Brody, Cornelio, but you don't need to trade him out anytime soon. But I doubt he'd be a keeper. But great selection off the top because he wasn't popular and he's proven to be really, really good. Joe says, "Kitty Coleman thoughts?" Look, not just yet. He wait and see what he does this week. I'd say unlikely, just to that price point, but he'd have to do something pretty special in his second game this year to get us thinking. Braden, thoughts on bringing in Ben Keys or Jack Sinclair? Yeah, you're winning on both fronts there, mate, to be honest. Both have proven really, really good selections and good options. Probably 2 of the more consistent guys in the game this year. Chris, thoughts on trading Grundy, Rochelle, and Jack Hayes for Cripps, Clayton Pig Oliver, and Sam Hayes? Also thinking of keeping English. What do you reckon? Love the trades, mate. Looking really, really good. And I would probably hold English. Hey, Jonah. You're being called upon. Would you like to step in? He's hesitant. Sorry, man.
I don't want to show my face anymore.
He's not the first person to be hesitant to walk into my bedroom, but
Playing, bro?
look, they've been telling me to make me bed all fucking night. Chris, what?
Where's the quiz?
About 5 minutes. You doing it?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm winning it.
Okay. I would hold Tim English. Yeah, a couple of people with a couple of threats saying they'd bash me.
Just a heads up, you guys couldn't bash Shorty because Jonah's there.
Yeah, and I'm a fair specimen as well. So
you could bash Shorty by himself.
You could not.
Jonah's there, you can't.
I am a physical threat, not only on the football field.
I'm his
but-
protection, so
Yeah.
don't fucking.
You
touch
fuck with
him.
me, you fuck with him. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Get away from me. Jason, other option, Hayes to Roses. Oh, fucking scrolled way too far there. Scrolled way too far. Sorry, mate. And Horn Francis to Miller. That's also a good trade. I would just wait and see on the teams for Roses. Amusement says, "How's the horse racing Supercoach tracking?" Oh, mate, I haven't done that for a while. Probably as well as my betting's going, mate. James, if you traded Cripper out thinking he was more than 1 week, could you consider bringing him back into the family? Hurts me even to think about. No, definitely could, mate. What the hell are you looking at? Don't do this. Shut the door. Play your damn little golf game. Nah, definitely that's fine, mate. I'd probably bring him in after this week. It's not super pressing. Break even to 125, so he's probably not losing much cash, not gaining much cash, but welcome him with open arms, guys. Welcome in. NJD says, "Quiz. We're very close, mate. Jack, let's start the quiz." Nick, hey, Shorty, love the live session, mate. Thank you, my friend. Keep up the good work. Thinking of trading Grundy, English, Jason Hall, Francis to Witt, Sam Hayes, and Oliver. Your thoughts? Very popular combo, mate, and that's an awesome trade. I would definitely do that. I appreciate the kind words, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Sam, thoughts on Whitfield to Liam Jones? Can't be any worse. Just may as well throw it all out with you. Oh, he hasn't been what we'd hoped, had we? Has he, Whitfield? And Amusement says, saw Liam Jones playing for Palm Beach on the Gold Coast. Man is a cheat code in that league. TG, thanks for also the questions. No worries, mate. Thanks for asking them. No worries at all. Adam, do you rate Luke McDonald as a pick? Yeah, look, he probably doesn't light my fire completely, but I see the merit in it. I wouldn't say go and grab him, but I really do like his role. And he really does play a great role, particularly when Hall is out of the team. So it might be a question of how far away Hall is. Charlie, is it too risky to have Sam Hayes at R2 for a couple of weeks? I don't think so. Like slight bit of risk, but for a few weeks, it should be fine. Leroy says, I'm fighting for justice in the quiz today after finishing second. Oh, boy, that's brutal. Hashtag Will Brodie plays 25 games, not 24 for Gold Coast. Oh, shit. No, gee, I don't know. Boy, oh, boy, is that where your controversy was? Oh, shit. Boy, oh, boy. Look, if I got it wrong, I apologize. Crikey, I'm sorry if I got it wrong. LSJ says Nick Vlaston, ? We've covered him a bit. It's a no from me. I don't think he's ever proven that he can be our premium. Dylan says, new to Supercoach Shorty and am doing well so far. Nice. Just used up a few trades already. Down to 22. What should I do? That's all right, mate. As long as your team is traveling well, I wouldn't get too worried about the trades. Obviously, probably hold off a touch for now, but it's all about how well you've used your other 13 trades, not about how many you have left. So if your team's traveling well, you should be happy. Here's our reigning quiz champion, thinking way ahead, but does Andy Brayshaw's opponents round 19-23 Supercoach finals of the Dogs, Melbourne, West Coast, and the Giants tag worry his scoring? Nah, look, it doesn't. I don't always subscribe to teams playing good teams, makes it harder to score. And look, who knows if the Giants tag him in all the way down the track. It's so hard to tell. So no, I wouldn't get too worried about that. Let's do a couple more and then I'll release the quiz code. Caden, trade Hayes for Roses or Treloar. Probably if Roses gets selected, I'd go the cash cow. If not, I'd go your Treloar option. Leroy, thoughts on Ben Cousins as a former premium? Oh, boy. Theo, Hinge, when is he back? I heard a fella say before he's not on the injury list, so surely this week. Max is back. Has the accuracy in the goal-kicking comp improved from the last one 3 years ago? Look, probably not. Now, a couple of saucy bananas from the pocket, but also some of the bigger shanks you're likely to see. So you can be the judge, Max, tomorrow night. Jamie, why isn't Shorty an NRL Supercoach specialist in addition to the AFL? I have minimal knowledge on the NRL, my friend, so that'd be probably your number one reason. Edward, do you reckon Mills will be top 8 mid? I think he's right in that mix. I think he showed what he can do as a premium last year. And yeah, you can mount the case that he's in the discussion as top 6 to 10. B, Nick Martin for Rising Star over Dacos. Oh, he's putting together a pretty solid run, but I'd still go Dacos at the moment. Corey, I hope I win the quiz. Came third last week in the quiz. I'm normally good at the trivia. Good man. It won't be far off. Jared, just here for you to shout out the best league in the comp at the moment. True. And who's on the top? Yeah, look, Jared is on top of the number one league in Supercoach. Correct. Yes. AFL Supercoach 360. Get around them. Great Facebook page. They're kind enough to allow me to post some stuff and let me get involved with their league. And we're currently the number one league in Supercoach. So just a quiet little flex there. And Jared's pretty happy with his work. So that's what we love. Haydo, what ruck do you recommend Grundy in terms of primo? Thinking about Sean Darcy. I actually don't mind that. Just Langer said something about the concussion knock with Darcy. I'd check that out. But otherwise, if you've already got Gawn, I would honestly say I think Darcy's warming into his work real nice. Jacob says, how are fantasy and Supercoach different? Fantasy, I think, is a more basic scoring philosophy. Like I think it's 3 points for a kick, 2 for a handball, maybe 2 for a mark, something like a more basic stat-related scoring system. At least that's what it was when I played last. Where Supercoach, is clearly more down to your efficiency, intercept possessions, how you win the ball, contested, uncontested, etc. So, Wayne, what's going on? Shorty, I need a trade for Rochelle. I'm thinking Brody or Bailey. Your opinion, guru. Look, I don't know. Bailey's a really good option. Like, can you afford Luke Parker? I feel like if you can afford those guys, you can afford Luke Parker. Or you won't be too far off. So I would lean towards those. I don't think those other two guys are keepers. But quiz time. It's quiz time. Get around it. Let's do it. So you've got to log on to the Look at Play. So get yourselves all sorted. Get your, calm your enthusiasm. You got to log on to this one. And then I'll give you the code in a second. So it's just bookit.com/play or something like that. Yeah, random names. We accept that. Yeah, let's host a game. That movie, just got to load that up. So, yeah, you can get 60 into this quiz. And once this loads, we'll have a code. 772731. 772731. Get involved, my friends. Watson's just about in. He's looking for the dub. So you gotta jump onto that. The winner gets a little one-on-one chat. What I'll be looking forward to that, won't you, mate? Yeah, you get a one-on-one chat about anything, mate. Yeah, you can. Yeah, we can talk draft. The Dankfish is in. Shorty's. Oh, fuck. That's brutal. Shorty, Muffin Muncher 69. What is going on, my friend? Not much, mate. How are you? The carnage continues. Trading Grundy to Hayes this week and Rochelle to Oliver. Correct. The carnage was savage, mate, but I like the trades. Amusement Productions. Can you do a video showing all of the yeah. Ben and Harry Mackay battles? Because there's been none, mate. There's been none. Sometimes I got to proofread what Amusement says because he can be a loose unit and you just never quite know what he's coming through. 48 players into the quiz. So bet the hamster. Good. Big J, Chonk, Dankfish, Chappy Muncher. Jonah's dad's involved. That's interesting. Peter Rabbit. Shorty is a DILF.
Yeah. He wishes he was a dad.
I'll be a dad one day, bro. Shorty's clip.
Don't speak that in the microphone.
Whoa.
Friendly.
Oh, sorry, this is a family program.
Well, who's the chicken?
I apologize. Who's the chicken? Show yourself, bro. Scotty Gumbleton from ES. What a loose unit. Leroy, one word answer is Jack Ginnivan a flog. Yes, he is.
Why?
Bro, you said one word answer. I respect his football ability.
He's not.
But if you rock a haircut like that, it's got flog abilities. He shushes the crowd. But having said that, I like it.
Okay.
Because anytime anyone shows a bit of emotion, we smash them down. But then if they're robots, we smash them down as well. LSJ says John Newcomb, rising star. You don't have to go too much further than Jack Watson, who absolutely loves John Newcomb. Loves him.
Love John Newcomb.
Amusement, yeah, agrees. The 9, you pipped me this week. Good score, congrats. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. No, so one of the leagues I'm involved in is number 1 league in the whole competition.
Yeah, but you're not.
Sometimes it's hard to get support around here. This is why I have these live sessions, because I live with a pack of assholes and I can't get any love around here. How are we going with the old quiz? I reckon. Oh, we got 61. All right, let's start this quiz. Hey, good luck, guys. Hopefully, I got to all your questions. All the best. I won't be seeing your questions come through, but feel free to talk a bit of trash in the comments. What? I didn't. Let's start. Good luck, guys. Quiz is underway. Slowly but surely. Here we go. Question 1. How many disposals did Darcy Parish have at halftime in the Anzac Day clash on Monday?
Pretty sure I just gassed it.
What?
Pretty sure I just fucked it up.
Oh, really? Yikes.
Huntington went hard early.
I double-checked this one on the KO, what he was at halftime, because I didn't know if they added 1 or 2, but 55 of you guys are in. And he had 30 at halftime. I think he only ended up with 44, maybe. Most of you guys got that right.
Second.
Oh, Watto informs me he's second. Must have got in nice and quick. Leroy's on top. Shorty's Tinder date's third. Reigning champ. Jonas. Are you Jonas' dad?
Yeah.
Oh. What the fuck? Question 2. How many Supercoach points did Callum Mills score on Monday?
Oh, you're wrong.
Big double ton. He was in my draft.
Oh. Toss up between two.
Yeah. Yes.
Toss up between 212 and 216.
I think I got a question. I fucked up a question last week, I think. Could have. And it was 214.
Fuck.
Which a few of you guys had 212. It might have been 212 before scaling, potentially.
Yeah.
Shorty's Tinder date is on top. That's something I've said before. That'll get me cancelled, bro. That's a funny gag, bro.
That's not even funny.
Shit. Question 3. The D's were inaccurate on the Anzac Day Eve against the Tigers, kicking what score? 9:22.76, 8:21.69, 9:23.77, 8:24.72. If you're not sure, just pop along to AFL.com, but you'll be a little bit slow, but you'll get it right.
Hey, no cheating.
Well, yeah.
If you caught cheating, we receive the prize.
50 of you guys have locked and loaded your answer.
That's why make things difficult.
What do you mean?
Why can't they win one?
Most of you had this right with 9:22.76.
Right.
I feel like there'll be a few people 3 from 3 here, I reckon.
Okay,
Shorty's BBC.
Whoa!
Oh, that's a filthy name in there.
This is terrible.
Come on, boy. Langers, are you in there? Come on, where are you, Langers? Come on, Watson. Come on, boys. How many Anzac Day medals has Scott Pendlebury won? Yeah, look, it was Anzac Day weekend, mate. He's got to have a few questions. Has he won 1, 2, 3, or 4? Actually, there's a good Brisbane question coming up.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Can't tell you.
Well, no.
Yeah. I'm really confident you'll know it. Yeah. 4 seconds left. Scotty Pendlebury has won 3. That's separated a few. Few of yous went 2. So separate the men from the boys there.
Hey,
and we got
still a man.
Basilenko, Rezzy's coach. Kingy's up there. Shorty's a Dilf. Got in nice and quick there. BBC and Cleto 1 and 2. Why are you making me say these things? Question 5. Who has won the most Marcus Ashcroft medals? Best on ground in the Q Clash with 3.
I could have fucked this up.
Ablett, Lyons, Miller, or Dane Beams. This was the one I was referring to, actually.
I think I fucked that up.
Oh, no.
I think he's only on 2.
Gary Ablett Jr., Jared Lyons, Tuke Miller, Dane Beams.
There's Beams on 3. Oh, yeah, I think Lyons got 2 last
year. Yeah.
Shit.
So some successful guys out here in the answers, but it is Dane Beams. A lot of you went Gary Ablett, which is fair.
But the Suns are shot.
Shorty's Tinder date, Dank Fish, some bloke trying to make me racist. Tinder date's on top. Jason Hornet, Leroy, Minge. I think my Tinder date was in there. BBC. Tom Hawkins leads the Coleman medal with 20 goals. But here's a curly one for you. Who has the most scoring shots for the year? Is it Max King, Tommy Hawkins himself, Charlie Curnow, or Jeremy Cameron? I can't reveal the answers.
I'll pick Kings.
Yeah. You'll be happy then.
Yeah, good. You get 1-7 or something.
I feel like I could say that when there's 4 seconds left. I think most of you are in. So it was Max King. I think he's kicked 14-14. Something like. No, I think he's kicked way. No, it's more, even more inaccurate than that, I think. OTR was in quick and he rises up to 3, but Shorty's BBC means just some risky names here. We're up to question 7. Who took the most contested marks in 2021? Max Gawn, Aaron Norton, Charlie Dixon, Tom Hawkins. He's in a few answers or in a few options.
Obsessed.
I am obsessed with Tom Hawkins, correct.
Jamie says he's going to kick 1,000.
Dermy. Dermy's lost the plot, I think. So we're getting to the business end of the quiz.
I guessed it.
What'd you guess? Flying high, the big astronaut. I believe is correct. If my memory serves me correct, most he's got that right too. Nice stuff. That's good. That's good. Where are you overall? Minge, comeback Jonah, Jacob. Can't say that one. NJD. This bloke in for better not win, or it's a risky name. Okay. We need to fight back here, Watson. Question 8. 3 to go. Who kicked the first goal of 26 grand?
You fucking prick.
There's a backstory to this one. Ben McGlynn, Liam Picken, Tom Boyd, or Luke Parker.
It definitely wasn't Ben McGlynn. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick tip. Jack asked me my advice on sports bet.
I already had Luke Parker kick the first goal.
I said, Ben McGlynn probably a better chance to kick it. And most of you guys are in. And Luke Parker did kick the first goal. And it cost you how many dollars? $400. Sorry.
First on that one.
Yeah. I forgot I had that one in there. Jonah's dad was in quick. NJD, Hugh Johnson, Hornet, comeback Jonah was in nice and quick. But on top is Min, Shorty's BBC. OTR is up there, NJD. Question 9. Good luck, guys, for those who are right up there. Which club did Gary Ablett Sr. start his career at? One for the old timers. I can't. Or what did you say? Yeah. I thought you mouthed Port. I was like, did I put that in there? Yeah. I was like, what? That would have been Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, or Hawthorn. I wonder how many of you out there actually knew he started somewhere else. Might be showing my age there, but played maybe 7 games at Hawthorn.
Hawthorn Hawks legend, Gary Ablett Sr.
Most of you's got that right. So surely. NJD was in quick. That'll help him. He might rise up a bit. He was in there. OTR will rise up a bit. NJD's up to 3rd. OTR up to 4th. Final question. Good luck. Who stood in as interim coach last year after Nathan Buckley was sacked? Rob Harvey, Brendan Sanderson, Brendan Bolton, or Blake Carousella? Yeah. Old Bucks. Just a funny guy on Best on Ground. Skits. So I wonder how many of you boys right up there on the leaderboard either got it right or got in there quick, because we've had a few names up there similar for the last 4 or 5 questions. Good luck to you. Rob Harvey filled in. 46, you got that right. Well played. And now let's see who won the quiz. In thirds, NJD. Minge was 2nd, and on top is Shorty's BBC. Well, there you go. Well played, mate. Well played. Let's have a look at the report. So, interestingly, wow, this is interesting, right? So, Minge got, this is interesting. OTR and Minge got they got 9 out of 10. But Shorty's BBC got 8 out of 10, but it was obviously really quick. Pipped him by 3 points. That's interesting. Jason Hornet, also 9 out of 10. Comeback Jonas up there, NJD, OTR, Minge, I mentioned. Hugh Johnson, really good performance, mate. Champ, well played. Reigning champ, he was back and really impressive effort to defend the title. He was up there. Leroy. Shorty's, Saucy was up there. Shorty's Tinder date was hot early, but faded out. Said that before. Waller, can't say that one. Jonah's dad. James G, Jonah's mum and dad playing. That's cute. Placey's in there. Kingy, Shorty's a Dilf, Jezzo, Dank Fish. The Fish didn't perform too well, and Langers might have thrown the towel in. I don't even reckon he's come in here.
I just cracked that for last week.
Jonah. Wow.
Back up. What? You've got COVID.
Hey, whoa. So Jonah, he played as Jonah's dad.
Yeah,
and there was also Jonah's mum.
Who's playing that?
Who was Jonah's mum? Show yourself. Thanks heaps, guys. Thanks heaps. I'll whoever the winner was, just send me a little screenshot of the, you in first, and feel free if you want to send me a message, Supercoach style. Feel free. I'll show you. No, I don't really use this page much anymore, but Shorty Supercoach on Facebook. Feel free to flick me a message, and we can just have a chat tonight. And if you got any questions, hopefully I got to your question throughout the comments. Austin, well, there you go, mate. Just send me a little screenshot. No, Leroy was leading too, weren't you? Oh no. Chapman, been involved in any pranks lately? Actually, yes, and I'm right in the midst of one. It's actually me versus Watto. It's getting pretty hectic. Ben 20th after second of the first quiz. Look, I feel like top 20 is pretty respectable, but it's so tight up there. Austin, flick me a message if you want. You don't have to, obviously, but if you'd like to ask any questions, just have a little screenshot of the first place and just say whatever. Daniel T, cheers, Shorty, for another good live. We'll see you next week. Thanks, mate. No, I appreciate you tuning in. NJD, Shorty, can we make it 15 to 20 next week? Reckon it needs to be longer. Interesting. I could up it to 12 potentially. It's actually kind of tough to think of all the questions. Sometimes I always get like 6 or 7 out. Then it's like, nice, NJD, nice. Leroy thinks, that's right, true. Junior Chogo, change your shampoo to dishwashing liquid. That's good. I've also heard one where you put a bit of food dye or hair dye, whatever, in the shampoo, ruffle things up. Halfway through the day, their hair's pink. Bang. Amusement says, come on, Watto, you've got this. Good stuff, guys. I might wind this one up. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I might even try and get a smidgen of study in. It's 10 o'clock. I doubt that. Thanks, Austin. Cheers, mate. NJD, love it. Leroy, Tinder stories. So Thursday night. I'll try and think it up. Think of something up. Thanks, Jesse. Longer quiz is better, says James. Try and chuck it in some more historical questions. Yeah, good. I'm still trying to find that mix between like what happened on the weekend and also tracking your mind back through the ages. Thanks, Jono. Thanks, Amusement. Jace, you're a good man. Cheers, Placey. Amusement, you're a funny bastard. Thanks, Jono. No, good stuff, boys. Oh, B. The loose units have been out in full force, and that's what we love. I've got a goal kicking video up tomorrow, so if you want to see Shorty pull the boots on, you can tune in from 6:30. Otherwise, footy tips, preview to the weekend, break-evens, fallen premiums, we'll be smashing it. So thanks, Leroy. Thanks, B. James, cheers, mate. Tom, love your work. Daniel, thanks. Catch you guys later. See you, lads. Thanks again. Oh.